Sa gitna ng mainit at nagkikislapang hapon sa Makati, tila sinabuyan ng gintong alikabok ang mga salaming gusali at ang bawat yabag ng mga taong nagmamadali. Pero sa loob ng sikat at marangyang restauran na luminarya, panatag ang ilaw, malamig ang hangin, at bawat tunog ng kubyertos ay parang maingat na musika. Dito nagtatrabaho si Mia, isang waitress na kilala sa kanyang tahimik na ngiti, marahang kilos at disiplinang parang sinanay ng mga tao ng pagsubok. Mahigpit ang bun ng kanyang buhok, laging malinis ang uniforme, at ang pinakakapansin-pansin sa kanya ay ang simpleng wig na kulay tsokolate. Hindi sobrang kapal, pero sapat para takpan ang tunay niyang anyo. Hindi ito para magpanggap, kundi para mag-obserba. Dahil sa mundong kanyang ginagalawan, may mga taong tinitingnan ang halaga ng tao batay sa itsura, sa trabaho, at sa kung ilang zero ang nasa bank account. Good afternoon. Table 9 needs water. Bulong ng head server sa kanya. At walang sabi-sabi, kinuha niya ang pitcher, nag-adjust ng tray, at marahang lumapit sa VIP corner. Sa bandang dulo ng lugar, ang mga kurtinang kulay ginto ay bahagyang nakabuka, at sa loob ay may 5 katao na nakaupo, 4 na lalaki na nasa edad 30 hanggang 40. At isa sa kanila ay halatang nasa sentro ng atensyon, si Adrian. Suot niya ang navy suit na hapit, may pocket square na puti. At relo na halatang mamahalin, kumikintab tuwing tumatama ang ilaw. Ang anyo niya ay parang poster boy ng tagumpay. Bata pa, matalino siguro, at may kumpiyansang matigas ang bagting. Sa tabi niya, nakahilera ang mga tablet, mga folder, at isang fountain pen na halatang koleksyon. Nagtatawanan sila tungkol sa pitch ng isang startup na kakikitaan ng potensyal. At sa bawat tawa ni Adrian, ay may bahid ng pagmamataas. Parang ang mundo ay isang pamilihan at ang mga tao ay mga produkto lang na sinusukat, sinusubukan, at binibili kung kailangan. Nang lapitan sila ni Mia, napayuko siya ng bahagya, inilapag ang baso at pinunuan iyon ng tubig na walang patak na nabuhos. Good afternoon po. Would you like anything else while waiting? Mahinahon niyang tanong, malutong ang diksyon, maingat ang tono. Napatingala si Adrian na para bang natawa sa alinman, sa antok ng hapon, sa mismong tanong, o marahil sa taong nagtanong. You? Wika niya na may ngising mayabang. You're new? Tumango si Mia. Yes sir, 2nd month ko pa lang. Tumingit ang isa sa mga kaibigan ni Adrian. 2nd month, pero mukhang first day pa rin. Look at how she stands. Parang takot sa anino niya. Umalingaw-ngaw ang mahinang tawanan sa loob ng silid. Hindi sobrang lakas para marinig sa labas, pero sapat para kumawala ang init sa pisngi ni Mia. Sa halip na sumagot, tinanong niya kung gusto ng aperitif o bread basket. Bread basket? Do you even know what pairs with a Bordeaux? Bulalas ni Adrian, hawak ang baso at pinapaikot ang alak na parang isang ritual ng kapangyarihan. Tell me, what's the region? Notes? Tannins? Tahimik si Mia ng isang segundo. Hindi dahil wala siyang alam, kundi dahil pinipili niyang maging profesional kahit may panginginig sa tiyan niya. Left bank blend po, sir, medium to full body, with notes of blackcurrant and cedar. Tannins are structured, but smooth. Best paired with red meat or aged cheese. Mahinahon niyang tugon. Napangisi ang lalaki. Pero bago pa man makapagpigil ang isa sa mga kasama, sumabat ito. Uy, she did her homework. Ngunit mabilis din ang balik ni Adrian. Homework can be memorized. Understanding is different. At kumambyo ang kanyang tingin sa badge na suot ni Mia. Mia, right? Where did you study? Or did you? Ang huling pangungusap na yon ang parang tumusok sa manipis na tabing sa pagitan ng bastos at biro. Bahagyang naging tahimik ang 4 na kasama. Ang isa ay nagkibit balikat lang Ang isa ay umiwas ng tingin. Ang isa ay parang naghintay ng punchline. Sa loob, hinigpitan ni Mia ang kapit sa tray. Pero ang mukha niya ay parang di nagalaw. Isang maamo propesyonal at kumikindat na pader laban sa kahihiyan. Would you prefer the signature bread basket with truffle butter, sir? Aniya, mahina hong tinutulak ang usapan pabalik sa propesyon. Fine, sagot ni Adrian. But let your manager present our mains. I'd like someone more seasoned. Noted po, sagot ni Mia at pinilit ang isang maliit na ngiti. Sa pagtalikod niya, narinig niya ang mahihinang tawa. Tulad ng pag-ulan ng maliliit na bato sa pond. Hindi malakas, pero paulit-ulit at may layuning mang-insulto. Sa pantry, sinalubong siya ng head server. Nag-uusap ang mga mata. You okay? Tumango si Mia. I'm fine. Mahina niyang sagot at nag-abot ng bread basket. Inayos ang truffle butter. At sinigurot na perpekto ang pagkakahilera ng mga tinapay. Naghugas siya ng kamay, tinilip ang sarili sa maliit na salamin. Ang wig ay nasa tamang pwesto, ang uniforme ay plansyado pa rin, at ang mga mata niya, bagaman may bahid ng lungkot, ay kumikislap pa rin sa isang lihim na lakas. Marami ng beses na nakita ni Mia ang eksenang ito sa iba't ibang lugar. Kapehan, hotel lounge, private parties. Pare-pareho ang hikbi ng realidad. May mga taong naniniwalang ang respeto ay dapat lamang ilaan sa mga may posisyon. Pero may dahilan kung bakit siya narito. Gusto niyang makita kung paano tratuhin ang mga taong tulad niya sa establishmentong ito. At kung anong klase ng mga customer ang nagbibigay ng boses sa pangalan ng luminarya. Hindi niya kailangang ipaliwanag sa sinuman na may mas malalim siyang koneksyon sa lugar na ito. Na mas kilala niya ang mga pader, ilaw, menu, supplier, at financial statements ng restoran kaysa sa sinumang nakaupo ngayon sa VIP room. Ang kailangan lang niya ay obserbahan, maglingkod ng tapat at hintayin ang tamang oras. Nang ibalik niya ang bread basket, tiningnan niya si Adrian na para bang hindi siya gaanong mahalaga. Finally, wika nito, sabay kuha ng tinapay at malinis na paglagay ng truffle butter. At least you can bring bread. May kumindat sa katabi niya, may tumawa, at ang mga salita ay muling nagmistulang maliit na karayom na dumuduro sa balat ni Mia. At sa labas ng VIP room, natatanaw niya ang mag-asawang matanda na mahigpit ang hawak sa kamay, habang nag-aagawan sa isang plato ng carbonara. Ang batang estudyanteng kafanemeyong, naka-uniform pa at tahimik na nagbabasa habang kumakain ng soup. Ang magkaibigang babae na nagtatawanan at nagkukwentuhan tungkol sa bagong trabaho. Naalalang muli ni Mia kung bakit niya pinili ang tahimik na propesyon at ang wig na ito. Hindi para magtago sa takot, kundi para makita ang mga mukha ng tao nang walang hadlang ng kapangyarihan. Respect shouldn't be bought. Bulong niya sa sarili. It should be given. Nang bumalik siya sa pantry, narinig niya ang manager sa telepono. Nag-aayos ng schedule at supplier deliveries. Mia, alright ka lang ba? Kung gusto mo, lilipat kita sa iba. Huwag na sa VIP. Umiling siya. Kaya ko po. Sigurado? Opo. Kailangan nating makita kung sino talaga sila kapag walang kamera, walang press release, at walang pitch deck. Hindi na nag-usisa pa ang manager. Alam niyang, sa likod ng maamong muka at wig, may isang isip na sanay sa pag-analisa. Parang chess player na laging 2 o 3 galaw ang iniisip. Maya-maya, bumalik ang request mula sa VIP. Gusto raw ni Adrian na siyang personal na magbuhos ng alak sa susunod na round. Nakatitig si Mia sa pinto ng VIP room, huminga ng malalim at naglakad pabalik. Hindi bilang isang tauhan, natatanggap ng pangmamaliit, kundi bilang sariling kapitan ng kanyang katahimikan. Sa pagpasok niya, hindi nagbago ang eksena. Ang mga tawa, ang kumpiyansa, ang mga balikat na parang hindi kailanman binigatan ng konsensya. Pour me another, Mia. Utos ni Adrian, sabay abot ng baso. Kinuha niya ang bote, tiningnan na ang label, at maingat na ibinuhos ang alak sa baso hanggang sa tamang taas. Pinaikot ng bahagya para hayaan ang amoy na kumawala. Do you even know why we swirl? Tanong ni Adrian. Nakakangising parang guro sa isang batang nagkanda pa sa spelling. Tumango si Mia. To aerate, sir. To let the aromas open up. Cute, sagot niya. You memorize well. At tumukod ang siko nito sa mesa. Hinarap ang mga kasama at sabay tanong. Gentlemen, shall we test her later? Blind tasting? If she gets it wrong, she sings. Maybe she'll be entertaining at least. May mahinang pagtawa. Naiplano na ang susunod na episode ng biro. At si Mia, tahimik na inihanda ang sarili. Hindi para kumanta, kundi para kumatawan sa klase ng dignidad na hindi kailanman kayang bulagin ng alak o pera. Sa malayo, tumunog ang pinto at pumasok ang delivery ng specialty cheeses. Sa kusina, abala ang sous chef sa pag-plate ng main course. At sa labas ng malaking bintana, unti-unting lumalambot ang liwanag ng hapon. Sa gitna ng lahat ng ito, may isang hindi nakikitang relo na gumagalaw sa oras na itinakda ng kapalaran. Hindi alam ng sino man sa VIP room. Lalo na si Adrian, na ang babaeng kanilang pinagtatawanan, ang babaeng tila walang boses at pangalan, ay maghuhubad ng wig sa gabing iyon. At kapag nangyari iyon, ang bawat tawa ay mapuputol. Ang bawat biro ay mababawi. At ang tunog na may iwan ay ang katahimikang mas malakas pa sa anumang palakpakan. Ang katahimikan ng pagkilala, ng paghingi ng tawad, at ng aral na hindi kailanman nabibili. At doon nagsisimula ang kwento. Hindi sa kayamanan ni Adrian, kundi sa lakas ni Mia na magsuot ng wig upang alisin ang maskara ng iba. Pagkatapos ng nakakapagod na tanghalian, habang unti-unting humuhupa ang ingay sa restoran, nanatiling abala si Mia sa pag-aayos ng mga mesa. Ngunit sa likod ng bawat mahinahong galaw niya, naroon ang mga salitang paulit-ulit na umaaling-awngaw sa kanyang isip. Where did you study? Or did you? Mga salitang binitawan ni Adrian na parang lason sa hangin. Hindi siya bago sa ganitong uri ng tao. Madalas niyang makita ang mga tulad ni Adrian sa mga business forums, charity events, at investor meetings. Mga taong nakasuot ng mamahaling damit, pero ang puso ay mababaw na parang alon sa swimming pool. Ngunit ngayong siya ay nakatayo sa kabilang panig ng lamesa, hindi bilang may-ari o propesor, kundi bilang ordinaryong waitress. Mas malinaw niyang nakikita kung gaano kababaw at kalalim ang karakter ng bawat isa. Ang mga pangungutya ni Adrian ay hindi lang laban sa kanya, kundi sa lahat ng mga taong tinitingnan nila mula sa itaas. Sa isip niya, marahan niyang binubuo ang ideya kung paano niya haharapin ang sitwasyon. Hindi sa pamamagitan ng galit o paghihiganti, kundi sa paraang magtuturo ng leksyon na hindi madaling kalimutan. Pagkatapos ng shift, umupo siya sa maliit na pantry na nasa likod ng kusina. Tahimik siyang nagtanggal ng wig at marahang hinaplos ang kanyang tunay na buhok, maiksi at kulay itim. Pinutol niya mismo bilang simbolo ng bagong simula. Napabuntong hininga siya. Still the same lesson over and over again, bulong niya sa sarili. Habang binabasa niya ang mga text sa kanyang telepono mula sa business partner niyang, si Mr. Reyes, napangiti siya. The deal with Global Foods went through. Tomorrow's meeting confirmed. You'll meet the new partners at your restaurant. Ironya talaga ng kapalaran. Ang new partner na iyon ay walang iba kundi si Adrian, na hindi man lang alam kung sino talaga ang waitress na ininsulto niya. Sa sandaling iyon, nakaramdam si Mia ng kakaibang halong kaba at determinasyon. Hindi ito paghihiganti. Gusto lang niyang ipakita sa kanya at sa lahat ng tulad niya kung gaano kahalaga ang paggalang. Hindi niya kailangang gumamit ng salita. Sapat na ang katotohanan para magpaigting ng aral. Kinabukasan, habang nagbubukas ang restaurant, maagang dumating si Mia suot ang eleganteng navy blue dress. Nakaayos ang buhok at may kumpiyansang hindi niya kailangang itago ngayon. Good morning, Ma'am Mia. Bati ng mga staff, baka sa kanilang mga mukha ang paghanga. Alam ng ilan na siya ang tunay na may-ari. Pero para sa karamihan, isa pa rin siyang misteryo. Tahimik lang siyang ngumiti at tinanong kung maayos na ang VIP room. Yes, ma'am, sagot ng manager. Nakaset up na po para sa meeting ninyo mamaya. Luminga siya sandali at nasilayan ng pamilyar na eksenang naganap kahapon. Ang mesa kung saan siya tinawanan, ang upuang halos hindi pa napapalitan mula noon. Pinunasan niya ito, parang ritual ng pagsasara ng isang sugat. Okay, wika niya sa sarili. Let's begin. Eksaktong 12:00 ng tanghali, dumating sina Adrian at ang kanyang mga kasamahan. Nakasuot pa rin siya ng parehong ngiti, ang ngiting kumpiyansa pero walang respeto. Good afternoon, gentlemen. Bati ng manager. Please, have a seat. Our investor will be with you shortly. Investor? Bulong ni Adrian. Nagtataka. Finally, someone worth talking to. Naglabasan ang mga laptop at dokumento habang nagkukwentuhan sila tungkol sa future plans ng partnership. Ngunit habang lumilipas ang minuto, napansin nilang ang mga staff ay nagiging tahimik. Halos nakatitig sa direksyon ng hallway. Lumingon si Adrian at nakita si Mia. Hindi na bilang waitress, kundi bilang investor. Eleganteng naglalakad papunta sa kanila. Sa bawat hakbang niya, ang mga mata ni Adrian ay lumalaki. Parang unti-unting nagigising sa panaginip na hindi niya gusto. Good afternoon, Mr. Adrian. Wika ni Mia na may mahinahong boses pero matatag na tono. I'm Mia Santiago. I believe we met yesterday, though under different circumstances. Tahimik ang buong silid. Ang dating malalakas na boses ng mga kaibigan ni Adrian ay naglaho, parang inagos ng hangin. Ang manager ay bahagyang ngumiti. Alam niyang ito ang sandaling hinihintay ni Mia. Hindi para malait, kundi para magturo. You? Bulalas ni Adrian. Halos hindi makapaniwala. You're the investor? Yes, sagot ni Mia. And the owner of this branch. I wanted to see how my staff and customers behave when no one's watching. Hindi alam ni Adrian kung saan titingin. Sa mga kasamahan ba niya na tahimik na rin? O sa babaeng minsan niyang tinawanan pero ngayon mas mataas ang katayuan kaysa sa kanya? Ang simpleng waitress na tinanong niya kung nakapagtapos ay isa palang profesional na may master's degree sa business administration sa London, isang negosyanteng itinayo ang sariling restaurant chain mula sa walang-wala. I didn't know, pautal niyang sagot. Of course, mahinahong tugon ni Mia. You didn't ask to know. You only looked. Ang bawat salitang binitiwan niya ay parang maingat na tinig ng katotohanan. Hindi siya sumigaw. Hindi rin siya nagalit. Sapat na ang kanyang presensya para magpabagsak ng pader ng kayabangan ni Adrian. Respect, dagdag ni Mia, is not about wealth or language fluency. It's about how you treat people when you think they're below you. Napayuko si Adrian, tahimik na humugot ng hinga. Sa gilid niya, ang mga kaibigan niyang dati nagtatawanan ay nakatungo na rin. Tila nakaramdam ng hiya. Would you like some wine, Mr. Adrian? Tanong ni Mia sa parehong boses na ginamit niya kahapon. Or perhaps bread basket? This time, I'll make sure it pairs well with humility. Ang buong silid ay sumabog sa katahimikan. Walang nagsalita, walang tumawa. At sa unang pagkakataon, si Adrian, ang lalaking sanay na tinitingala, ay nakaramdam ng bigat ng tingin mula sa baba. Sa sandaling iyon, Hindi siya CEO, hindi siya milyonaryo. Isa siyang tao na natutong humingi ng tawad sa pamamagitan ng katahimikan. Sa huli, tinanggal ni Mia ang wig sa harap ng lahat. Marahang inilapag sa mesa. This man that bit, sabi niya, is not just hair. It's a reminder that sometimes what you see isn't always the truth. Habang nakatitig si Adrian, parang bumalik sa kanya ang lahat ng sinabi at ginawa niya. Bawat insulto, bawat tawa, bawat pagkakataong ginamit niya ang kayamanan bilang sandata. I'm sorry. Mahina niyang sambit. Halos pabulong. Ngumiti si Mia. I accept your apology, Mr. Adrian. But don't apologize to me. Apologize to every person you've belittled. That's how you truly change. Sa puntong iyon, tila nabunutan ng tinik si Adrian. Pero ang tinik na iyon ay iniwan ng aral. Ang leksyon ay malinaw. Ang respeto ay hindi kailangang hingin. Ito ay dapat ibigay kahit walang kapalit. The following week, news about the mysterious waitress turned owner spread like wildfire across the business community of Makati. Articles appeared online titled, "The CEO Who Mocked His Investor," and "Lesson in Humility, How a Waitress Silenced a Millionaire." Though Mia had never intended for the incident to go public, someone from the restaurant had recorded part of the meeting on their phone. Overnight, it became a viral story. Not because of the scandal, but because of the message it carried. People admired Mia's calmness, her grace under humiliation, and her ability to turn pain into power. Meanwhile, Adrian's name trended for the wrong reasons. His company's social media page was flooded with comments, most condemning his arrogance. For the first time, the man who once stood above others found himself judged by the very world he thought he controlled. In his office, surrounded by luxury, Adrian sat in silence. The air felt heavier than usual, and the ticking clock on the wall echoed like a slow drum beat of regret. He scrolled through the comments, some mocking, some disappointed. And for the first time, he realized how words could wound, how pride could blind. His mind replayed Mia's voice again and again. You didn't ask to know. You only looked. 3 days later, Adrian decided to return to Luminaria, not as a VIP, but as an ordinary customer. He wore a simple shirt and jeans, his usual polished aura gone. When he entered, some staff whispered his name. But Mia, who stood near the bar counter reviewing documents, simply looked up and smiled politely. Good afternoon, Mr. Adrian, she said. Her tone was neutral, kind, not sarcastic. Would you like your usual table? He shook his head. No, he said softly. Anywhere's fine. He took a small seat near the window. When the waiter handed him the menu, Adrian didn't know what to order. Everything felt different now, as if the place itself carried the weight of his shame. After a few minutes, Mia approached, carrying 2 cups of coffee. You look like you need this, she said gently, setting 1 cup in front of him. Adrian smiled weakly. Thank you, he murmured. There was a long silence between them. Not awkward, but reflective. Finally, Adrian spoke. I don't know how to make it right. I thought success gave me the right to look down on people. I forgot that everyone has a story. Mia nodded slowly. That's the first step, she replied. Real change starts when you stop defending the old version of yourself. They sat quietly for a moment, watching people come and go. The old couple who always shared soup, the student reading in the corner, the young mother feeding her child. You see them differently now, don't you? Mia asked. Adrian nodded. Yes, he admitted. I used to see them as background characters in my own story. Now I realize I was the one who didn't matter. Mia smiled, not out of pity, but out of understanding. You mattered, she said softly, but not for the reasons you thought. Power doesn't define worth. Kindness does. Adrian looked down, his voice trembling slightly. I want to change, he said. Not just for my image, for real. Mia leaned back, her gaze steady. Then start by changing how you lead. Teach your people what you learned here. Let your company become a place of respect, not fear. Her words hit deep. For the first time, Adrian felt something genuine awaken in him. Not guilt, but responsibility. In the weeks that followed, Adrian began to transform his company culture. The same man who once mocked his employees now held weekly open tables where any staff could voice concerns. He removed the unnecessary layers of hierarchy and promoted a new internal campaign called Respect First. Posters went up in the hallways. No title defines humanity. He encouraged kindness, empathy, and equality. Some employees were skeptical at first, thinking it was just PR damage control. But over time, they saw sincerity in his actions. He volunteered in feeding programs, donated anonymously to community kitchens, and treated janitors and interns the same way he treated investors. The change was slow, but real. People started calling him the new Adrian. But inside, Adrian knew it wasn't about becoming new. It was about going back to being human. Mia, on the other hand, continued to manage her restaurant chain quietly, refusing media interviews. When asked why she didn't capitalize on her fame, she simply said, "The lesson isn't about me. It's about how we see people." Yet one evening, she received a letter, handwritten, old-fashioned, bearing the familiar signature, A. Cruz. It read, Dear Miss Santiago, you taught me something no MBA ever could. That respect is the currency that never loses value. I've implemented the Respect First policy across all my companies. And I want to thank you personally for opening my eyes. I hope someday, when people talk about that day at Luminaria, they don't just remember how I mocked a waitress, but how I learned from her. Adrian. Mia smiled as she folded the letter. She placed it inside a small box filled with tokens of her journey. Her old ID, a few photos, and the brown wig she once wore. She ran her fingers through it one last time and whispered, Goodbye, old disguise. Then she placed it back in the box, closed the lid, and set it aside. Outside her office window, the city lights shimmered like stars. Somewhere in the distance, people were laughing, eating, living, each with their own story, each deserving of the same respect. Mia smiled to herself and murmured, Some lessons are better lived than taught. Months passed, and what began as a quiet incident between a CEO and a waitress turned into a ripple that touched countless lives. Adrian's transformation became a story whispered in company halls, discussed in leadership seminars, and even taught in small HR workshops as a case study titled The Power of Respect. His company, which once had one of the highest employee turnover rates, now became known for having one of the most positive work cultures in the industry. Employees who had once been afraid to speak now found their voices. The janitors were given healthcare benefits, interns were mentored personally by senior staff, and even the security guards were treated as part of the corporate family. Adrian had finally understood what it meant to lead, not with pride, but with purpose. In every meeting, he began with the same phrase, We are all equals here. And people believed him, because this time, he lived what he said. One evening, as the city buzzed with lights and traffic, Adrian sat in his car parked outside Luminaria. He hadn't planned to visit. It was one of those spontaneous decisions made out of gratitude. Inside, the restaurant looked as lively as ever. Laughter filled the air. Couples clinked glasses, and the aroma of truffle butter lingered, just like that day months ago. But something in him hesitated to step in. Perhaps it was humility. Perhaps it was fear of facing the person who had changed his life. He finally gathered the courage and entered. The familiar sound of the door chime greeted him, and he saw Mia standing near the counter, speaking with her staff. She looked calm, confident, radiant, a woman who didn't need validation from the world. When she saw him, her eyes softened, and she smiled. "Mr. Adrian," she greeted warmly, "I didn't expect to see you tonight." He smiled back, slightly shy. "Just Adrian is fine," he said. "I wanted to thank you." Again. Mia nodded and gestured to an empty table by the window. "Have a seat," she said. They sat facing each other, the same way they did that unforgettable day. Only this time, the air between them carried respect, not pride. "You've changed a lot," Mia said. Adrian chuckled. "People say that, yes. But truthfully, I just found what I lost along the way." He paused, looking at his reflection on the glass window. "I used to think success was measured by how many people look up to you. Now I know it's measured by how you look at people, whether you see them as equals or not." Mia listened, nodding. "And that," she said, "is something even the richest man can't buy." Adrian laughed softly. "I guess the universe has a strange way of teaching lessons," he said. "It disguises them in pain." "Pain," Mia replied thoughtfully, "is the best teacher, if you're willing to learn." After a few moments of silence, Mia spoke again. "You know, after that day, I kept thinking, maybe fate really wanted us to meet. You reminded me of the people I used to teach before I left London. Brilliant minds, full of potential, but blinded by ego. Some changed, some didn't." Adrian leaned forward. "And do you think I really changed?" Mia looked at him, her expression serene. "Yes," she said, "because you didn't just apologize. You acted." Her words felt like light, gentle, but piercing through the last shadow of guilt inside him. He exhaled deeply. "Thank you," he said sincerely. "Not for forgiving me, but for not humiliating me when you could have. You could have destroyed my reputation that day." Mia smiled faintly. "Humiliation never teaches. Silence does. The moment I removed my wig, you saw yourself, not me." They both laughed quietly at the irony. The same wig that once hid Mia's identity had revealed Adrian's truth. And in that realization, a rare friendship was born. Over the next months, Mia and Adrian collaborated on community projects, building small cafes where unemployed mothers could work, funding scholarships for hospitality students, and creating workshops about respect and empathy in the workplace. Their collaboration became known as Project Wig, symbolizing the removal of masks, literal and figurative. "We all wear wigs," Mia once said during an event. "Some hide insecurity, some hide arrogance. But when we finally take them off, that's when real connection begins." The audience erupted in applause. But more than that, the message resonated deeply. Years later, Adrian stood on a stage during a business summit, invited as a keynote speaker. The hall was packed: executives, entrepreneurs, and young dreamers. On the big screen behind him was a single photo: a waitress pouring wine, her face half hidden by a wig. This Adrian began, his voice steady, is where my story of success truly began. Not in the boardroom, but in a restaurant, with a woman who reminded me that respect is more valuable than profit. The room fell silent, hanging on every word. You don't need to be powerful to be respected. You need to be respectful to be truly powerful. When he finished, the audience rose in a standing ovation. Among the crowd, Mia sat quietly in the back, smiling, proud but humble. She didn't crave the spotlight. The lesson had already reached where it needed to go. After the event, Adrian approached her. You still don't like attention, do you? He teased. She laughed. I've had enough attention for a lifetime, he replied. Besides, it's your story now. Adrian shook his head. No, it's ours. They stepped out of the hall together, the night sky above them glittering with city lights. Funny, Adrian said softly, how a simple wig changed everything. Mia looked up, her eyes reflecting the stars. It wasn't the wig, she said. It was what it revealed. And in that quiet moment, without cameras, without applause, two people who once stood on opposite sides of pride found themselves on the same ground of understanding. The lesson of that day would live far beyond them, whispered in restaurants, retold in offices, and remembered by those who ever judged someone too quickly. Because in the end, as Mia once said, respect isn't something you earn after success. It's what makes success worth earning.